Superman and Lois Lane, Spider-Man and Mary Jane Watson, Batman and Catwoman. Superhero comic couples are a really iconic part of these characters' stories. And of course, that bleeds into on screen media such as movies and cartoons, sometimes even creating new dynamics. And I believe that a good combination of an iconic comic relationship and an iconic original on screen relationship can be seen in Justice League Unlimited in the episodes from season 2 Double Date. The relationships in question, get it, are Green Arrow and Black Canary and Huntress and the Question. First, let's take a look at the background of each of these relationships. Oliver Queen and Dinah Lance is, of course, an iconic relationship from the comics, with it dating all the way back to 1969 and being portrayed in other shows like Arrow, though very different from the comics, and Young Justice. Within the show Justice League Unlimited, we see as early as the pilot episode that Arrow has the hots for Canary, and the relationship officially begins at the start of season 2, when Oliver helps Dinah convince her mentor Wildcat to stop fighting for money in the ring, getting beat up and even faking his death so that Canary wouldn't have to fight. Then, in this episode, they are tasked with guarding Stephen Mandragora while he's being questioned by the police. And then there's Question and Huntress. According to the DCAU wiki, this relationship may be a homage to a story in the comics called Huntress Cry for Blood, where Helena, aka Huntress, is forced to go on the run and is taken under the wing of Vic, aka The Question. They had, quote, strong affection for each other, but when Huntress falls back on old habits and mafia connections, Question leaves her. As far as I can tell, this is the most this ship has been in the comics. But let's be honest, comic history is so crazy that there could have been a story where they settled down and started a family together. If you know any stories with these two as a couple, leave them in the comments below. Or if you just have fun comic stories in general, I always love to see them. At this point in Justice League Unlimited, we had only met the Question in the Season 1 episode Fearful Symmetry, which did a great job of establishing his quirks and what makes him a great character. And this episode, Double Date, is our introduction to Huntress. The episode starts off with Huntress stealthily taking down some of Mandragora's guards on her way to break into his room and kill him. This scene to me is a great demonstration of Huntress's skill set, and how she doesn't play by the rules, a true vigilante. There's also a bit of comedy with the guards talking about a scone recipe. Anyway, Huntress finds that Mandragora is not home and is beamed up to the watchtower by J'onn J'onzz, the Martian Manhunter, who tells Huntress that this was the final straw and dismisses her from the League. This decision didn't work with me for the first viewing, and I'm sure it would have been awesome to see more of her interactions with members of the League before she was kicked out. But later on in the series, I appreciated the idea that she kept fighting crime as a vigilante outside of the League. Kind of adds a bit of world building, you know? On her way out, she hears Question researching his conspiracies. The scene of them meeting immediately shows off the banter that we see in their relationship. Question entirely focused on his work and Huntress teasing him by commenting on his crazy connections. She promises him info on Cadmus, following up from the series' ongoing story about the secret government project, in exchange for helping her find Mandragora and exact her revenge. He agrees, and we cut to our other couple. As I mentioned earlier, Arrow and Canary are watching Mandragora, a crime boss with skin like cement and immense muscle mass. From the moment we meet him and how he communicates with the cops, he's an obvious slimeball, and that's without the misogyny towards Black Canary and taunting of Green Arrow. During this scene, Green Arrow has to be held back while Black Canary is cool and collected. That is until the slimeball insults her boyfriend and she punches him, causing them both to get thrown out and have to guard him from the outside. These two defending each other so much is a sure sign of their relationship is going well. And Green Arrow checking Canary's hand for injuries is so sweet. They relocate to a nearby treehouse for more fun couple moments. I like just how mature the relationships in this show are, with these two feeling just like a real couple without much drama seen in other shows. Then to continue the story, we see the Question picking up Huntress in the Question Mobile. Okay, it's actually just a 1967 Pontiac GTO, but the Questionmobile is a more fun name. And they have some more fun banter before arriving at the house where Mandragora is being kept. Green Arrow and Black Canary notice them sneaking around back, and knowing Huntress's vendetta against him, went to stop them. What follows is a fight between the two couples, and I think I speak for everyone when I say that heroes fighting each other is cool. This is why people love the airport scene in Captain America Civil War. I also like some of the fun interactions from this scene.
And here I heard you were some kind of brilliant fighter.
Doing this question? You wouldn't believe me if I told you.
Not only do we get a few more fun interactions between Green Arrow and Question like we did in Fearful Symmetry, we also get the seeds for Huntress and Black Canary's rivalry, which persists in this episode and later ones. During the fight, Mandragora's men disguised as cops break him out, and the heroes are called in to investigate with the police. Question seemingly picks up a piece of evidence, which Arrow takes and leaves with Canary, while Huntress is angry about Q giving away their lead, and then he reveals the real piece of evidence. Gosh, Question is just so clever and entertaining to watch. Green Arrow, knowing how sneaky the detective can be, hid in the treehouse from earlier with his date before following them. The next scene has Question deducing the backstory of Huntress, aka Helena Bertinelli, and Mandragora. Helena's story is easy to get behind as a classic revenge
It'll be
tale.
alright.
Mandragora worked for her father, a crime boss, and he betrayed him to kill Helena's parents while she watched from a closet. It establishes him as a threat and builds both his character and Huntress's, and once again displays how good of a detective Question is and how he can read people like books. And then we have a car/motorcycle chase. I wouldn't say it's anything too special apart from the heroes versus heroes and character interactions that we've seen in the episode so far. It's entertaining, sure, but reeks of them just putting extra action into their action cartoon. I liked Arrow and Canary escaping an oncoming train through the watchtower beaming them out, and how Canary complains about her motorcycle being destroyed, though. The chase ends at a dock that the clue led Huntress in Question to. Can I just say that I love dock settings in action shows and games? I feel like the cranes and shipping containers make for great set pieces, and the water and ships are great hazards for characters to fight around. Question suggests that they intercept a freighter coming in from Mandragora's home country, and they come to find Mandragora himself arriving only to get ambushed by Canary and Arrow. The two couples finally team up to try and fight the indestructible mob boss, and just before Huntress is ready to deal the final blow, Mandragora's son emerges from the ship. The villain reveals how his son was endangered by a rival in his old country, and he now just wants to go into hiding with him. This adds a bit more depth to his character, making him more human. I think I'll remember this when I make my villain ranking for the series. Huntress sees herself in the boy and how she witnessed her own father's death, and decides that killing Mandragora would make him endure the same trauma she did. Instead of shooting him, she shoots a crate above him to trap the man, keeping herself from falling to his level. And then in the aftermath, Question reveals that he knew what Mandragora was planning, and that he knew Huntress knew nothing about Cadmus, but simply helped her because he liked her. He delivers the line in such an innocent and dorky way that it's hard not to smile at this incredibly smart guy being a doofus. Huntress smiles and gives him a kiss, and I gotta say, this line sums up their character dynamic throughout the series perfectly.
Where are we going?
Don't ask so many questions.
Sorry, Huntress, but I do have to ask the question of how you kissed a guy when you couldn't see his lips, because that's a bit weird. And then the episode ends. This definitely has the feeling of a weekend cartoon that you turn on to see a random adventure with fun characters, but it works in its favor with Huntress's street-level, character-driven story. And as I've been saying, the character interactions and shipping moments really make this episode work. All in all, it was a great showcase of two of the best ships in the show. In my opinion, I'd say that Huntress and Question are still my favorite of the two, but Green Arrow and Black Canary are still really good. There's a reason why they're so iconic. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys today. I know it's been a while, but life kinda took hold, you know? Please feel free to comment your thoughts on this episode or any other episodes or characters you want to see me take a look at. Like the video if you feel like it, and subscribe with notifications on for when I post again. Thanks for watching. Bye.